Malaika, nakupende malaika. Malaika, nakupende malaika. Nami nifanyeje? Itwana wenzio.
I want to talk to you about the life and the works of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. I'm going to give you some highlights. Then I want to look at what has happened under integration. What has happened in the last 50 or more years? And then we want to look at if the alternative is to build an African empire, then the people who are expected to be a part of that, which is the Africans at home and abroad, how much do they know about themselves? How much do they know about being Africans? In other words, we're going to take a look today at how much do they know about the great ancient African civilizations? How much do they know about their captivity? How much do they know about Jim Crow and colonization on the continent of Africa? And how much do they know about those great men and women who have gave great service and made contributions to our racial history? And if they do not know these things, what must we do in order to make them aware? Before I introduce my guest, who I'm proud to have on our show, Africa for the Africans, let's give an overview of some of the things I've highlighted. One, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Born August 17, 1887 in Jamaica, Caribbean. He traveled the world studying the conditions of our people and asked, where is our king and our kingdom, our ambassadors, our presidents, and our men of big affairs, our army, our navy? Then not finding any, he declared, I will help to make them. The Honorable Marcus Garvey is the greatest African leader in history. He was the founder and first president general of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. This produced the first and largest mass movement of our people. He was the leader of eventually 11 million people. The motto of the UNIA, one God, one aim, one destiny. He was the president of the Negro Factories Corporation, president of the African Communities League, president of the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation, president of the Black Cross Navigation and Trading Company, editor of the Negro World newspaper. He built grocery stores, restaurants, laundries, tailoring shops, schools, hotels, and banks. He was the first national hero of Jamaica because he laid the foundation of his homeland's independence. He taught race first, and he was the founder of the School of African Philosophy. He built the Universal African Legions, the Universal Black Cross Nurses, the Universal African Motor Corps. He gave us the red, black, and green flag. The red stands for the blood that flows through our veins. The black stands for the black man, woman, and child, and the dignity of the African personality. He organized the international conventions of the Negro peoples of the world. He gave us a Declaration of Rights. He called for a United States of Africa. He raised the consciousness of Africans at home, in Africa, and abroad. He fought against European colonization. His slogan was Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. And now you have our show, Africa for the Africans. He taught race unity, pride, and love. He taught us to help the needy members of our race and to reclaim the fallen, the formerly incarcerated. He taught us to establish our own schools for a racial education and culture of the people. He taught us to establish commerce and industry. He taught us to promote spiritual consciousness in our communities. He taught us to assist in the development of independent African nations and communities. He laid the foundation for future African and black nationalist movements worldwide. Now, that was the movement of Marcus Garvey. That was black nationalism or universal African nationalism. Now, I'm going to contrast that with what has happened since we've been up under integration. The Supreme Court is unsympathetic. We're losing all of our human services. Segregation has a solid basis. We say we don't want to be segregated. We've been segregated all along. Longevity is down for blacks. That's health-wise. Bad news barometer for black men especially. Guns are killing our youth, especially the black males. 29% of blacks are in jail or connected with the prison industrial complex. Blacks wait longer for kidneys. Black health is deplorable. There's an underclass fallacy. It's really ghetto reality. Black poor are being isolated. Blacks are frozen out of some of the areas in the suburbs. Minority scholarships are in peril. Blacks have been discouraged. Well-to-do blacks, not doing enough for poor blacks. Housing bias haunts blacks. New judges include few blacks. Fewer black men on campuses. A slide in black enrollment on campuses, period. Supreme Court, conscious effort to eliminate affirmative action forever. Courts avoid minority programs. Sour notes on affirmative action, bet not even act like you're trying to apply it to a situation. Legal lynching of blacks. Black debate wisdom of the Democratic Party's loyalty, or loyalty to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. We don't know who to trust. In fact, we can't trust anybody. Whites' income is up. Blacks' income is down. Crisis of African American men. Blacks left off the jury. Whites get court review. And the Arabs and the Koreans and the Indians and the Jewish communities have exploited us. Who can we trust? Nobody.